Hello and good evening, everybody. You are back with the crew. We are the crew. We are all the crew. Good evening, everybody. I see you in the chat. Renegade, Northern, Wayne, love you, brother. Becky, sister from, we're all sisters and brothers of the same. Somewhere along the lines, right? Tonight's show. I have a whole list of questions I didn't get to last week that you guys sent me and kind of came after me. That you were like, wow, hey, could you get this? Could you get that? Could you check this out? Could you look into this? So I got a couple of those. I'm going to say this kind of more at the end. I've got a kind of a little different show tonight than just being about exit plan and strategy. However, at the very end, I am going to get to that. And I say different because this is a show that we all talk about and we all know about different things and different facts and how they all kind of come together. But for me, this is sort of my perspective on a lot of the global big picture stuff that's going on, right? So that's really kind of what tonight's show is going to be. And then it's going to lead into what it means to the people of crypto and what it's going to mean in the world of technology. And I'm going to try and make this show kind of short and sweet. I got a hard stop because I really got to get out of here and do some stuff. My lovely wife, Miss Elizabeth, is leaving town for a couple of days. So we're going to enjoy the sauna together tonight and have a great time. So I will start off with Mr. Trump. I know a lot of people kind of wonder, hey, what's this guy really doing? And wow, it's all coming up roses. And especially if you're in crypto, it just seems like you're just on top of the world right now. And all the decisions couldn't be better. And everything going forward looks really good for all of us. And it really is. And entrepreneurs understand crypto. And crypto is something that once you sit down and spend the time and study it to any degree, that you go, oh, well, that could work. Oh, it is working. Oh, wow. You mean it already works? Yeah. Okay. Maybe I should invest in that. Yeah. So even Trump, who didn't believe in it 4 years ago or whatever it was, has done a real 180. You don't have to show a man how to make a buck more than once, right? Once you understand that, once he understood he can make money on it, he wants everybody to make money on it. He's not trying to take your money. He's trying to get everybody to get wealthy from it. That's really the perception of that a lot of people have about him is like, oh, well, he's just in it for himself. It's like, look, man, that guy's got more moles than he's going to spend. And trust me, he's too busy. You don't want to be president if you want to be rich. You just like how are you going to spend it? When you're president, you don't just walk up to, I don't know, a steakhouse and whip your wallet out. They don't even let you pay for anything. I heard an interview with Vladimir Putin a few years ago, and the man he's like, I don't own a wallet. I don't it just all gets paid for me. I don't need money. I don't have money. I don't want money. I don't need it. And everyone thinks he's this big rich dictator. Yeah, sure, he has a castle and he has a bunch of horses and all that stuff, but it's like he doesn't have to run out and buy all those things. You know what I mean? That's sort of like perks the job if you're a whatever he is, dictatorship, or I don't even know what they call those. To some degree, he's all the above. But I want to get back to Trump, and I really want to talk to everybody about what I think he's doing and why he's doing it. It goes beyond just the business model that he's setting forward. He's seeing this taxation, okay? I know this is very controversial for a lot of people, and I know it's really a tough pill to swallow, but you may not have to pay tax in the future in America. I know it's terrible. I'm gonna miss it too. There's just something about getting that letter that says the IRS on it that you're gonna miss. You're probably you're gonna really harken back to the days of, wow, man, it was so great. All the things they bought with it and did with my money, and I'd work till May. And then people say, well, you're crazy, Allan. That can't happen like that. I'm like, well, yeah. Actually, yeah, it can. Mathematically, I happen to know how it could work out. I've done the math. All you got to do is look back and look back at the 1890s and 1880s, and it was the single greatest time in our country's financial life and history. And it was all about tariffs. And the only people that wanted to get rid of the tariffs was globalists, and they got rid of the tariffs because they didn't want to get tariffed. They were across the pond, if you were, and they didn't want any part of that. They're like, no, we want to exploit all this cheap labor in all these places, and then we want to ship it and send it to America and make a bunch of money on it. So no, we can't do it like that. We don't want to. Let's not do that. So that's when whole Jekyll Island thing happened and all the rest of that. And the Titanic, just had that accident with those families that were in favor of the tariffs. And I was just, anyway, you've heard about all that. I'm sure a lot of that. But what I mean by any of that is this. If you understand the big picture of globalism and imperialism, and the fact that it's never really gone away, okay? Imperialism has never really gone away. You think America's independent of Europe and the UK, the Commonwealth nations are still Commonwealth nations. And the people at the top really want it that way. And they've run it that way with so many different ways that I've heard, I know, and I've been in rooms and I've heard people talk about it, and they talk to me like I was like part of the family for 100 years, and they just talk in such matter of fact around me and with me that like it's mind-boggling to see or hear their perspective on how the world works. And I'm going to tell you one of the great stories going back that really reminds me of the time in which we're in now. And this happened, and I'm going to get to the part of this here in a minute. Back around 99, okay, right when we had that, the dot-com bubble, if you will, boom, I'd like to call it, because it was the beginning of a boom. Really reminds me of right now, okay? We are in 1998. Those of you who lived through this, we're in 1998 right now. That's where we're at. Almost identical. The people I was running their boats for, the families I knew at the time, they were all in banking. They were all doing this stuff, and they were all part of this situation. The 2 or 3 families that I worked with for 9/11 it's pretty deep, and I'm not going to get into it here on YouTube, but these people were fully connected, as connected to globalism as humanly possible, without the tattoo on their forehead. So these people really saw the world back then, and they had it by the oysters, if you will. They had the world exactly the way they wanted it. And when 2000 came along, late 99, and when that dot-com crash occurred, it was simply a lever. That was a lever, guys. They pulled the rug. That's what they did. I mean, I so much as heard people say that's what they did, and I heard so much as them getting drunk and laughing about it. So what I'm trying to say is these situations, these days are now upon us again. it's now with crypto. It used to be with .com. And what happened back then was, I don't know, 6 or 7, maybe 10 at the most, .coms pulled it off and made it through with a helping hand of maybe globalist systems or people behind the globalism. Okay. All that Silicon Valley, all of that. I don't know if you remember. I mean, there were companies that they had one bad report and they were gone. And these companies were supposed to make 40% annually for like hundreds of years into the future. And it sort of harkens back to last week and what happened last week when you look at NVIDIA. That was a shaking of the boat. That was like, oh, wait a minute. What is that? What was that? I felt a tremor, didn't you? Okay, I'm going to get to NVIDIA here in a minute, but where I'm still talking about is these families and how they see the world as a chessboard and a game to them. And now you and I are stuck in the middle of this, thankfully, blissfully stuck in the middle of this crypto chessboard, which is no different than the .com chessboard that once was the game being played. Okay. And the beautiful thing is, if you follow my channel, you probably have some XRP. You probably have some Bitcoin. You probably have some Cardano. You probably have some ISO coins. Okay. These games are being played at a level above Donald Trump. Okay. I just want you to know that. I mean, the man's doing the best he can with all the tools he has. He doesn't necessarily what I would call take orders, but he fights headwinds all the time about, oh, don't go over here. Don't go over here. And how do you know that? Is because he picks battles he can win, fights he can, laws and rules and 5-year problems, not 50-year problems. You see what I'm saying? He picks his battles wisely because people are keeping him in a channel, if you will. He's not just really being able to just tell anybody in the world to just, you're going to do it my way and America can just take your property and we're going to do this whole thing. No, it's bigger than that, right? We understand that. So when I hear people like Miss Lagarde come out the other day, and I'm sorry, Christine Lagarde. I don't know, is she a miss or I don't even know what she is. A felon is actually what she is, but we won't get. Isn't it odd that, you know what, you can't, by the way, I know this is a kind of a trust night, but I'm going off on a little tangent here tonight. I hope you guys will follow with me. Isn't it odd to anybody? Doesn't everyone find this odd that the lady who runs the Economic Union for Europe is a felon? Like, I can't even buy a trust if I'm a felon. Did you know that? You can't own an American trust anyway. I believe that's Commonwealth law. You can't even own a trust. Yet there she is running ECB like, we're all going to listen to what she has to say about Bitcoin. Did you catch her stumble in the middle of saying what she said? I believe it was yesterday. And she was saying about the Czech. Oh, I just had a lengthy conversation with our friend, the Czech person. I think he's going to do the right thing. And immediately, 2 hours later, they voted against that, of what she thought. They went with Bitcoin. Now, they haven't voted completely on it, but they put it before vote. And I think today we just had our 15th state. 15th state. And it was an interesting one. I don't know if you guys caught this one. Illinois. Illinois is interesting to me. Many different reasons on that one. That's a whole nother rabbit hole we're not going down right now. So let's talk about Europe. There's a mess. I know UK isn't Europe. It's a little island over there and it's kind of close. So UK, there is a mass exodus happening right now. A mass exodus. I was on the phone with a couple of people in the UK over the last month or two who are crew members, love y'all. And all of them to a man were like, this is not my neighborhood anymore, Allan. This is, I grew up here. This doesn't, I don't even, like, I have to leave. I have to leave. I have to move out in the middle of the country, or I have to leave my nation. That's happening all over Europe right now. Europe has made so many colossal negative mistakes. Okay. Just look at LIBOR. They lost LIBOR. They used to be the economic calculator, okay, of the global world's money. We're the calculator. We're LIBOR. We decide what the rates are for the whole world, and we're this and we're that. They lost all that through, I can say this in no other way than lack of understanding the room you're in. And the room being the planet, and the world in which you live, and the communities in which support you. They lost their way in a leadership manner that is hard for this old man to understand and even see happen so rapidly as it's happened just since January 20th. It's like they're crawling into holes and hiding. Okay. I'm not a big fan of running and hiding, but 100 years of tyranny on that little island of the UK there, I understand it. I get it. And Europe, Germany, oh boy. I was just reading some financials yesterday about Germany. You want to talk about a mess? I'm talking about a financial, everybody says, oh, well, America prints $1 trillion every year over budget. They don't even have a budget. They just say, hey, Brussels, what do we do next? And Brussels is run by a bunch of lunatics. I'm serious. And everybody's, oh, well, which way do I vote? Nobody's even read the material. They literally get, just like our Senate and our Congress, they literally get the content, thousands of pages the day before they're supposed to vote on it. They have interns trying to dig through it in time. Yeah, absurd that is. That tells you imperialism has saturated Europe, the UK. And that is what Trump is fighting. He's fighting government tyranny. And I love it. I love what he's doing, the way he's doing it. Could it go too far and go absolutely too far to the right? And then, we could get all crazy and start, rounding up all the liberals. Yes, of course. You want to see it up the middle. Let's not get crazy with this, okay? And get stupid here and start finding problems where there aren't. Let's get the ship on the right course and get moving. Now, what's it going to take for Europe? What's it going to take for Brussels or the ECB to wake up? Look, I know a lot of people in this channel aren't Bitcoin fans, and I understand that. I totally get it. You're going to make way more money with XRP in the short term, and I totally get that, and I actually believe that to be absolute factual. So unless you got a ton of money laying around, you probably shouldn't be into Bitcoin. It's probably a little late for that at this point. However, one day, if you make a bunch of money, you might want to own some for collateral. Just saying. So when I hear global leaders for the last decade tell me that only fools buy Bitcoin. And now we're up to our 15th state. And every nation all the way around what I consider a criminal who says, oh, we're never going to buy Bitcoin and it'll never be a strategic reserve for the ECB. Do you know how many people I've heard in 9 years I've been in crypto tell me, never will I buy Bitcoin? Do you have any idea how many people have fallen to that? Let alone XRP. I mean, these people are just going to be like, there's no way they would wrap their mind around XRP. They just can't. They're just like, oh, well, no, I'm not doing it. I know that's a bit of a tangent going down, but the reason why I went down it, because I want to lay the fundamentals of what's happening next. Okay? So most of us understand everything I just said, but you got to lay the groundwork for what's about to occur. So a lot of people had to catch up, right? So hang on. Nice. I have just the perfect amount of drink there. Ice to drink ratio. You know when you just get it right and you're like, boom. Yeah, I got the nice hot fire right here. Got the dogs laying on the mat right next to me. And I'm here with my people. How good is that? Sorry, not my people. Our people. We're all the people. Here you go. This is where this is going. And it's about to get crazy. So hang on to your hat. What's happening right now before you and I is the players are getting sorted. The old system is being pointed at. And it's saying, that doesn't work. It's not working. I don't understand why we're going this way when everybody else in the world is going this way. All the success is going this way. And we're staying put because we know better and we're listening to each other and we're not listening to our people. And this has failed dynasties for centuries. And they are failing horribly because they're listening to their own cronies tell them they're what a wonderful person and what a great job they're doing. Trust me, I live in California. The leadership in this state has been listening to each other, not the people. And the people they have been listening to are half nuts. Okay, I'm sorry. Some of the ideas for laws and rules and the expenditures and the money allocated for those things that they want to do are absolutely absurd, okay, for the common man. So it's time we took common sense and put it first. If your government leaders aren't using common sense and your family's well-being before common sense or at the same time, they're about to be eliminated in the political scheme in the next 2 to 5 years. That's happening right now. So now, let's combine that with what's happening in the business world. Business, banking, just got the green light. I talked about this last Thursday night, and it's already happening. Banking got FAB 121, right? Boom, you guys can rock that. Banks are going to hold on to it. Banks are going to be able to start selling Mr. and Mrs. Smith, okay? Instead of selling them mutual funds, they're going to sell them crypto, and they're going to sell them XRP, okay? And they're going to sell them Cardano, and they're going to sell them Bitcoin. Why? Because they're not going to sell them a meme coin. They're just not going to do that, okay? Banks have a fiduciary duty to at least say this is a viable product, okay? We can understand, we can wrap our minds around this. I'm sorry, but fart coin isn't going to be on the calendar. All right. It won't be on the board for, purchases that day. Anyway, now that we know that with Fab 121, look what else happened. Well, Mr. J comes out yesterday or this morning, I believe it was, and says, hey, yeah, we're okay if banks sell crypto. J Powell, what are you talking about, brother? Well, yeah, no, it's okay. We just want to make sure that they sell the right ones, and we want to make sure that they're responsible, and we want to explain to the clientele the risk involved. So let's see, risk in the last 10 years of crypto has been, I don't know, XRP's up, 1,000 times in the last 10 years. Bitcoin 1,000,000 times in the last 10 years. Yeah, that's big risk. Wow, that's risky. Boy, I don't know. That sounds risky to me. I don't know if I'm going to buy any of that. What are they going to do? They're going to sell it to the public. And here we go. Here we go. Okay? So you're going to say, now, Allan, I've heard you say that 1,000,000 times. It doesn't even make sense. Why are you saying this again? I've heard all that. Here's why. Your business models are dead. I don't even understand Donald Trump when he starts to tell me he wants to build industry. What industry? Are you going to make toasters? Okay. What are you going to do? Bring back the steel industry? What are we buying that's made of steel? We are a service-based global system going forward. We're not buying tractors. We're just not doing that. AI and robotics is going to be the metal business. I don't know if you noticed, but when China came out with a DeepSeek last week, NASDAQ tanked because NASDAQ is tech. Tech got a big black eye. Why? Why did that happen to them last week? Because they were outed. Oh, you got to spend $100 billion for all this research to figure out how to get this AI just, to think like a human being. And, we got to do a ton more research, and we need more funding and more fun. Who does that sound like? Who does that sound like to you? Bad politicians. It also sounds like Silicon Valley trying to, let's see, find the outcome or the narrative in which they want before they even do the research. Here, fund us. The old problem, reaction, solution angle. Well, I don't know about you guys, but this is my detector, my little BS detector. It goes right up through my hat. As soon as I hear politicians come out or a business leader come out and say, well, we found the problem. The good news is we found the problem. The bad news is you're the problem. However, after great extensive research and the greatest authorities and all these council members and everything, we all put our heads together and we decided, we figured out how to fix it. Raise your taxes. Check. You pay us to fix the problem you guys created. All right, what's next on the docket? And it's endless money spending on top of spending, and it never goes to that. Ever. They spent almost $1 trillion trying to make inflation go away. I'm sorry. That's the ignorance. So let's get it to what's smart now. What is smart? Oh, I don't know. AI is up to, 110 IQ now and higher. So what did AI do? AI came into the picture last week and just said, hey, you know what? We can actually do this whole deep seek think for like pennies, not dollars. We can do it for pennies. And then India's going to come out with one. Oh, it's scot-free. You can have it all. Technology is deflationary. And the only people, hang with me on this, the only people that have ever profited other than Amazon or the actual company, the only people that have ever profited from technology is the person making the widget and the government and the politicians. How do I know that? Because, see, the government and the politicians print beyond the inflation level that the deflationary technology saves you in money at the cash register. They've printed the margin from you. That's the old business model. It's being called out. There's people like Elon that figured that out. And there's people like Trump that would like to do what? He's an entrepreneur, like I started the show with. Why is he an entrepreneur? That's who he is. That's his mind. That's what he wants to do. So he sits back and he says, okay, how do I make Americans rich? How do I do that? AI? DeepSeek just figured that one. That blew that one right out of the water. Because, see, as soon as you invest in company A, AI is going to come along and do the same thing company A does for free, being company B. Where's the profits for the people that invested in company A? There aren't any. It's gone. So what are you going to do? You're going to have to invest in currencies. You have to. What do you own? Cryptocurrencies. Why are the other currencies going to fall by the wayside? Because the system abused them. They printed more of them to make up for the deflation of technology, and the success of entrepreneurs have been stolen from the entrepreneurs that could have done all of that for the public to make your life cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, like the 1880s were in this country. I don't know if you guys know that. Life got cheaper every decade when people moved to America in the 1850s. Cheaper. You'd put money in the bank and the money would go farther the next month, not less. You don't have to be Von Mies, okay, to figure this out. This is simple math. They've stolen technology from mankind by printing money. I know I've discussed this in many different ways, but it's so important that everybody understand what I just said. Because isn't it a little bit odd to all of you that all of a sudden Mr. Trump comes in and he's prez and he starts swinging this big sword around the entire planet, and all these leaders all around the world are going, stepping back and not saying a word. God, even mainstream media, please don't listen to mainstream media. Please do not do that. Look, if you hear it in mainstream media, unless it's a plane crash, heaven forbid, all the families that lost people yesterday, my heart goes out to all of you, or the fire victims or Tennessee victims, all of that. That's real. What I'm talking about is they tell you stuff that's coming or is, or new law or rule. Please don't listen to it. 90% of it is just hype. It's a narrative. Okay. Just, I know you know that already, and I know anybody that follows this show understands that. But we get caught up in the emotion of it, and that's why they present it to you, is to get you emotional about it, and to think that, oh, this new thing happened, therefore tomorrow's going to change. No, that's not ever what happens. What happens is you change your life. The news never changes your life. It keeps you in purgatory. You change your life by what you allow in. The knowledge you seek and you hear and that resonates with your heart is reality to you. The other, it's all just mental masturbation. It's to keep you occupied and dizzy and lost. The most important thing for you is clean water, crystal clear skies, and a beautiful day, and a smile on your face. It has nothing to do with laws, rules, and regulations that are going to change tomorrow and make everything perfect for you. Okay? I'd like to say that Mr. Trump is going to do that for everybody. He can't possibly do that. Is he doing great things? Of course. Is crypto the answer to your financial future? It sure appears that way today, bigger than ever before. Okay? I have a video coming out. I have a video coming out Saturday. You guys must watch. If you like my kind of content, you're going to love my Saturday video. I shot it today and I didn't like it, so I erased it, and I'm going to redo it tomorrow for Saturday morning to come out. I'm just going to say, if you like XRP, you don't want to miss my show on Saturday. So I'm not going to get too deep into that end of the show, because I was really going to go all in on that. How and why technology favors you going forward in the business world is because old business isn't about work ethic, materials, fundamentals. The future of your economic future is the movement of money, the movement of assets, and the human experience. Nobody talks about. Now, I talk about it a lot. Whenever I talk about AI, people don't hear it. You have to understand this. Robotics and AI is going to help the human experience. Everybody says the exact opposite. The reason is because you and I, with technology since the, 90s, has been complicated. It's very difficult. The passwords and the buttons and the cut and paste and the rest of it, it's gone. It's done. It's history. You're going to simply tell your phone, your wallet, what you want done, what account you want it in, how much interest you want to make on it, where it's going to be moved to. It's all about the movement of money, and that's why you want XRP. And the collateral of money is going to be Bitcoin to some degree, and the governance of nations is probably going to be somewhere along the lines of Cardano and other effects. That's Saturday's show. But what I'm trying to say about this is that frees up you for the human experience. I don't know if you've all noticed, but our cars and everything have gotten way more creature comfort for all of us. I get that. It really has. Our laptops, our phones, and everything. Except for what? Did you get more free time? Do you have more time under the tree? Do you have a fly rod in your hand more often? No, you don't. Because you became the AI. You didn't become the human, relaxed individual who got more time for oneself to do what one wants to do. You became the research network. You don't want to be the research network. You want to be the doer of the research. And what you've done for your life is buy crypto. And you've decided that that is the future of mankind. And you nailed that trade because there's industry going to happen all over the world. It's going to be tackled by AI that is not going to enable you to invest in it. I just explained all that. So you now have the movement of money, little tiny specks of pennies are going to be trickling to you in all different micro nodes and the rest of it. All of that is going to give you the money, because that's all you ever really need is I'm going to call it money, but it's energy. Energy is what money or wealth is. And it's energy in the sense of it allows me to go do what I want to do. It allows me to store this thing so that I don't have to complicate my life a week from now, a year from now, a decade from now, many years from now. It's an energy that you can store up almost like squirrels and nuts. It absolutely changes one's life who has that energy, freeing you to do what you want to do. And that circles me all the way back to Mr. Donald Trump. The man wants to fix the wrongs of imperialism. The man is working 20 hours a day to do just that. He doesn't want to be on a yacht. He doesn't want to fly in a private jet. He doesn't drink. He doesn't want an umbrella drink under a palm tree. He wants to fix the world the way he sees the future of this world for his children. And for that, I take my hat off to that man. The way he's going about it is gunslinger. And it had to be done. I mean, at some point, it had to be done this way. I know there's many people in this chat that don't care for the man. Whatever. You don't like his hairdo. You don't like his beliefs. You don't like the way he goes about business. I get that. He's rough around the edges. But he gives a damn. Do you understand that? Do you understand the last 5 presidents didn't? I'm telling you, maybe the last 10. I don't even know how long it's been since somebody actually cared what happened to you. He's holding the feet of nations. Fire to their feet. Tell them no. No. Mr. Smith and Mrs. Jones want this from you. When's the last time you heard a politician do that for you and I? I know. I didn't really mean this show to be that. I just want you to understand AI, robotics, economics, and the future of crypto. Everybody's telling you you're going to get rich with AI and robots. No. That's what this whole show is about. No, you're not. You're not going to. Because the system is too competitive. It's constantly seeking the cheaper price. And then the next thing you know, it's free on your phone. Think about that. How are we going to make money free? By the cheap transactional value of it. That's XRP, my friends. And I know that you already knew that. Okay. It's ridiculous. What China exposed in the business world this week was we don't need as many chips as we thought. NVIDIA just crashed. They're okay. Don't worry about NVIDIA. CPUs, GPUs, and CPUs, all the above, are going to be made at 1/10 the price. But more importantly, we don't need thousands of them anymore. That's what most people aren't. Like, you're going to have one GPU run all the chips of the whole car. But what they figured out was we don't need chips. We don't need a dozen chips in these cars anymore. That's what happened this week. And the public figured it out. No, the public looked at the price and went, oh my gosh, look at that. Look what just happened there. Martha, what are we going to do? Holy smokes. They lost $50 billion in NVIDIA stock value in one day. That's what they saw because that's what lamestream media told them. But what I saw immediately, and most people have a big picture of the world saw, was, oh, all those people who spent tens of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars investing in these startup little computer companies that was going to have this little AI learning thing that was going to take 16 months before they could launch it, they're gone. All that venture capital got erased in one day. They're no longer relevant. You're not going to be able to go to these conventions anymore and go, hey, I've got this new great, 50 booths in a room. And I've got this new AI project. All I need is $10 billion of funding. And I could do, no, gone, guys. That our world accelerated 5 years last week. And I know nobody's talking about this. It blows my mind. I'm like, what, did you guys notice what happened? Oh, I'm sorry. You were looking at a plane crash. Or you were looking at, I don't know what, Jay Powell didn't cut rates. What were you looking at? What are the ramifications of what just happened last week, guys, is massive in your lifetime. Let's go back to when I started this video. You're in 1998 right now with .com. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to have a bubble and a bust. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have about a year. You have a year of some ridiculous profits. What I'm telling you guys is anybody in crypto with any kind of bag size or wallet size is going to be one blessed individual within a year from now. There's no other way. There's absolutely no. Where are they going to invest in real estate? No. AI, I just explained to you, the AI is out. Venture capital is like, we just got aced. We just got the stool ripped out from under us. Robotics, okay, maybe some robotics because you can't just create that with software. But still, where's big money going to invest? Wait a minute. State pension funds are all buying Bitcoin, and it's starting with Bitcoin. It's going to go to XRP, and it's going to go to the other top 10 coins, of course, right? Of course. Where are they going to put their money? Hello, people. AI is out. It got aced in 1 week. It's too deflationary. In 1 week, it became the most deflationary item on the planet. You understand that? And we have a government that is no longer deciding just to print money to hide the amount of profit they made off Silicon Valley. That should have gone into your wallet. It should have gone into eliminating your taxes. See where we went with that? So when people tell you that we can't eliminate taxes because it's going to create, trouble, refer them to this video. Explain to them that, well, wait a minute. How come we've done it before? And I don't even think it's going to take tariffs. It will take tariffs to some degree. The movement of money, kids, ladies and gentlemen, is the profit of the future. And I know you already know that. I know that all of you had that figured out, but I wanted to explain. I had to get that off my chest because it's so clear to me now. And now I've been in the crypto since 16, right? So it's 9 years now. 9 years. It's absurd. And I promised I was going to get to some of these questions. And somebody gave me a super chat too. Solar, what are you doing, Sammy? No, I want you to spend that on your kids. Do not send me money, Sammy. What's that? Keep sharing your insights, Allan. We really appreciate your views. XRP Las Vegas. I'm gonna see you too, brother. Yeah, I absolutely. Yeah, this is crazy. I just read something. I can't repeat that. I can't repeat that on. So with all that said, what are the top 10 coins? Everybody asks me. You better buy the coins that are made in America. You absolutely better know where they're made, who's behind what's making them, okay? What doors they're working on. And I know I don't want to get into the whole Bitcoin thing. Oh, well, we don't know who Satoshi is. Whatever. Go with that. Spend the rest of your life on that one. Okay, I'm good with that. I've gone over that before, but you don't know who created Wi-Fi either, do you? You don't know, but you use it every day. You don't know who created the internet either, do you? You don't even know who created cryptography, but you've invested in it. Slow down with that whole thing. We don't know who Satoshi is. Okay, whatever. I got that. We're good there. If you don't own, I'm just going to tell you this right now. This is not financial advice, because who could listen to a guy, you know what I'm saying, with, some Staple Crew hat on, just shooting the breeze next to his dogs, next to the fire here. If you don't own XRP, you better be thinking about buying it. I'm going to tell you that right now. And it's not because I have any kind of inside information tonight. It's not because any of that. It's because it's the movement of money. It doesn't even matter if it's 10% of all the money that moves. That's fine. Those are multiples of beyond where it is today that is going to wreck people's minds when they see the public come flooding in. Let's just go through the scenario real quick, right? Okay, so all the banks are going to sell crypto. I mean, Jay Powell already said, yeah, cool, man, I don't have a problem with it. Oh, and Fab 121 just got flipped on its head. So what's holding B of A from telling their tellers, hey, you can sell XRP to these people? Okay, so they walk in and they're like, hey, I don't know anything about it. Right over there, we have a desk that you could sit down and one of our representatives. By the way, you might want to consider being a bank representative because you actually know way more about crypto than anybody that bank has in the building. I can promise you that. The amount of jobs that are going to be created, okay, just for inside a brick building, and I know they're all going away, but the amount of people that they need on hand just to teach their staff, just all of it. It's going to be phone networks. It's going to be all the above. And they're going to need what? Strategists. They're going to need people that are going to say, oh, not that coin, these coins, right? It's going to be a massive industry, guys. I just explained tonight, there's nowhere else to put your money. I even heard Robert Kiyosaki say the other day he's selling all of his gold to buy Bitcoin. Like, what? What is going on around here? This is absurd. It's crazy. Yeah. So when you walk, let's stop and think about this. Robert Driscoll just hit me with another one here. What do you got? Evening on, kids moved away. Thanks for the priceless info. Yeah, love you too, Robert. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. He didn't have to buy the kids lunch today, so he could do a super chat. I love that. That's cool. So when Mrs. Smith, because she's the only one that's still, people my age are the only people still walk in banks, but they call the bank or whatever. They're going to go to, I've went over this before, but it's like, oh, okay, well, how much is that Bitcoin thing? Oh, it's 100 grand. That seems a bit pricey. What else do you have? Well, Ethereum's 4 grand. Oh, that's a little better. Maybe I could get a couple of Ethereum. Yeah. Or let's see. Oh, I don't know. I could get 3,000 XRP. What do you think they're going to buy? The fundamentals of XRP are massive. The public is times 10s that. I have a fantastic story of a friend of mine who he's a publicist. That's what he did for a living. And he was telling me one day, we were on the aft deck just talking about different stuff. And he was telling me how the number one thing that's going to be eliminated by the aft deck is the back of the boat, by the way. It's the table on the back. Some people, what's an aft deck? So we're sitting there, we're talking about this, and he said, Allan, what do you think is going to happen here with this whole AI thing? And I said, well, the first thing to go is going to be advertising. They're done. They're history. AI is just going to eliminate that because AI knows the market for each product. It's just like if there was going to be a commercial on my channel, it should be an XRP commercial or a Bitcoin commercial. It shouldn't be a, dog with hat commercial. It's not our clientele. It's not my people, right? So we're going to be able to, with AI, narrow down the advertisement to the actual people that actually want to buy the products in which the channel talks about. Very simple stuff. So I'm explaining this to him. He said, hey, you know what? A good friend of mine back in the 90s, you know what he did? He turned Las Vegas around. And I said, well, wow, what do you mean? And he goes, well, see, back in the 90s, Ripple had decided that Las Vegas had decided that they were going to go after the wealthy people. I don't know if you guys remember this, but they really went after the billionaires and millionaires and come to Vegas. And we got limos and we'll pick you up and private jet you here, all the rest. They were trying to get the high rollers and they were losing money in the casinos. And then very, very wise advertising man walks up to him and says, people are going about this all the wrong way. It's like, well, what do you mean? It's like, well, what are you talking about? It's like the money's in the public, not the millionaires. The money's in the public. You need to get drinks with umbrellas, giant ones with giant straws, and they can walk up and down the boardwalk and spend their money. Yeah, that didn't fall on my deaf ears. I was like, yeah, what? Really? And every time I've gone to Vegas ever since hearing that story, you know what? Look around, and that's all there is now. Kiddie rides, buildings, daycare centers. You could just put your kids in these daycare centers and mom and dad can go have a day. That has nothing to do with the millionaire clientele. It was everything to do with widening the boardwalks and getting everybody to spend their money up and down, the $20 here to $50 there. And the next thing you know, Vegas exploded. That's how I know XRP is your coin. Not maybe. Definitely is your coin. All right. What do we got? I'm confused. When Tether prints 500 million coins and then Bitcoin goes up. I don't. Tether only prints coins when they run out of coins. or when they foresee a future bump in purchases of coins. In other words, when you think about this, do you have to buy Tether to buy Bitcoin? I know most XRP people think you do, but no, you don't. Do you have to buy any stable coin to buy any crypto? No, you don't. Do you need a stable coin to sell crypto? No, absolutely no, you don't. So stop listening to the people that are selling that narrative, okay? I have news for everybody. Tether isn't going anywhere. And I know there's a lot of people saying the exact opposite. But let's remember, who doesn't like Tether? Let's go back to what I said in the beginning of the show. The ECB doesn't like Tether. Europe doesn't like Tether. So let's go back and ask ourselves and just think back in the last decade of your life. When's the last time Europe made a good decision about anything? Anything. I just print one in there. Put one in there. They haven't done anything right in so long. I'm just going to call them, I don't know, lefties. They can't do anything right. So you call them lefty. I can't even begin to tell you the leadership and how horrible it is in that continent. It's a mess, kids. I would not follow their initiatives or their guidance when it comes to anything financial, ever. And I know there's people, we all want RLUSD to explode and go crazy, but don't step on your friend's coat to try and gain momentum or wealth in your pocket. Okay? That's not how this world has to work. You don't have to rip your brother apart to get rich. Sorry. That's a loser's mentality. And we're not losers. We're clearly winners in this. Clearly, we're winners in this category of crypto. All right, guys, I got to get to a couple of these. Let's see. Joanna says we're on Instagram. We are. Be careful with Instagram. Tether is here to stay. Let's see. Viking Cat had a great question in here. Viking Cat had saw Ripple advertising URLSD on the Wall Street Journal. Yeah. Remember, guys, I was telling you, I don't know. I got a little birdie told me about 6 months ago that the number one most advertised cryptocurrency in 2025 will be XRP. Ripple is going to spend a ridiculous amount of money, okay, this year in advertising. Ridiculous amount. I heard the number and I was like, yeah, well, I'll believe that when I see it. They were spending, well, the number I heard was more than what they spent in the legal case, put it that way. So you guys kind of know what that number was. A lot of money on advertising going forward. What do we got in here, guys? I did write down some of your, oh my God, I've already run over. The last time somebody asked me a question, okay, and they asked me a question and it was a great, brilliant one. I'm going to cover it real quick and then I got to get out of here. I said in a video, oh gosh, a month ago, maybe longer, I don't know, time flies, that I said that one day that I thought H bar would be $15. I want to tell you that I heard that from an executive at one of the world's largest exchanges. Told me that, and it was before the Trump inaugural. It was right around the election, if I remember correctly, and he told me why. And the reasons why sort of conflict a little bit with XRP and some different things. So I didn't get really into deep detail, and I can't right now, but suffice to say that I will talk about it in the future. But I want to cover this real quick. HBAR has the ability to blow Solana out of the water. It's only adoption keeping it back. That's the only thing. Mathematically, technologically, it's far superior to blockchain. Okay, just far superior. Having said that, when you exchange currency from here to the UK, across the pond as you would, and you want it to be something in between, it's going to be XRP in the middle. This man's opinion. It's not going to turn into HBAR and then become, a British pound on the other side. It's not going to do it like that. Okay. The data, exchanging of numbers and data that banking and financial networks are going to use is going to be HBAR. This is what he told me. He said it will be a factor in the exchanging of the money from place to place, but it's more on the accounting, calculating side of each location. It's not the coin going from here to there. I hope I explained that well. I hope you got that. I could get more into detail in the future. Somebody else had something here real quick. I'm going to have, yes, Renegade, great question. Thank you for next week's show. I just spoke with Mr. Man today. Well, I texted with him today, and he and I are going to do a show. I'm going to have him on my show on this coming Thursday night, a week from tonight. He'll be here. We're going to talk about some passive income ideas and opportunities, some that I have and some that he has. We're going to kind of compare notes. And then the following night, he does a town hall meeting with his group on Friday night, and I will be discussing trusts on his show there. So with that, look forward to that next Thursday. I am for sure. Brilliant guy. I love his work. And I'm still trying to get a hold of somebody to get me that tickets to the Silicon Valley deal. I tried to get tickets to that thing a month ago, and I'm on a waiting list. And I'm like, what's going on over there? So I guess they sold out like a month ago. But somebody said that Brad's still advertising it. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. If he's advertising, you can't get any tickets to it. But hey, it's crypto, and we have busy lives, so I get it. I've got to get out of here. I have too much going on. I've got to spend a wonderful night with my wife, Elizabeth, and I are just going to chill out the rest of the night. We're going to go in the sauna. We're going to have a good time, and we're going to chillax with the dogs here tonight. So with that, guys, I love you all. I appreciate you all, and thank you so much. And I do appreciate the super chats. And please, you don't have to don't do that. You don't have to do that. I do appreciate them, but thank you so much for just joining in tonight, guys. You know that I love you all. I appreciate you all. We're all in this together, and we will all succeed together. And that's going to be the best part, right? It is. We've already succeeded. We're doing really well. And next, the week after, I'm going to start. I really want to talk more about the exit strategies, because that's really what the show's about. And I have some new strategies that I'm working on that I really like a lot. Okay. So we'll get to those. And I've learned a lot from my phone calls with all of you, where your portfolios are, what you're thinking about spending money on, how you're going to try and save and this and that. I have a whole new twist on what we're going to do with trusts. And it's not just about tax. Okay. So look forward to that, guys. All right. I love you all, and I want you all to have a great weekend. Look for that video coming out Saturday. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. Okay. So good night, everybody.